Hello everyone. Today we are going to explore the foundational texts of ancient Indian political thought, specifically focusing on the Dharmashastra tradition. If we want to understand ancient Indian society, we have to look at the moral codes and treaties that determined the people's way of life. The Dharmashastra represents the socio-political arrangement of a society based on Hindu philosophy. The absolute core of this tradition is right in the name, Dharma, which translates to duty. According to these texts, a society is only well ordered if everyone performs their designated duty in an organic, interconnected manner. To ensure this order is maintained, political authority is established, giving the king the power to use danda or punishment. So, where do these texts come from? They originated from the learning of the Vedas. In Hindu philosophy, literature is divided into two main categories, Śhruti and Smriti. Śruti translates to divine sound. These are revealed texts like the four Vedas, which are not created by humans. Smriti, on the other hand, means derived knowledge or remembered traditions. These were generated by humans to synthesize knowledge and help society understand the Shruti. Dharmashastra falls under the category of Smriti. Its exact origins trace back to the Vedangas, which are supplementary texts or limbs of the Vedas. Specifically, it developed from the Kalpa, the texts detailing rituals and procedures, which eventually evolved into Dharmasutras and finally into Dharmashastras. While there are over 100 books in the Dharmashastra tradition, the most famous and oldest is the Manu Smriti. It contains discourses given by Manu and Bhrigu Rishi and is considered the most important code of Hindu law. As a fun historical fact, it was actually one of the first Sanskrit texts translated into English, completed by William Jones in 1776. Core social principles, Purushartha and the Varna system. Let's look at the actual contents. The Manu Smriti has 12 chapters covering the creation of the world, sources of Dharma, social classes, and the law of karma. To understand their society, we must look at two major principles. The first is Purushartha, which outlines the inherent values of the universe. Dharmashastra insists that humans must balance material and spiritual objectives. There are four specific goals every human should strive for: Dharma, righteousness; Artha, economic values; Kama, pleasure or desire; and Moksha, spiritual liberation. The second principle is the Varna system. In classical Indian thought, the community or society is always considered more important than the individual. Society is divided into four organically linked classes. Brahmins. Occupying the supreme position, they looked after intellectual and spiritual aspects of life. Kshatriyas, the warriors and the ruling class. Vaishyas, responsible for economic production, and importantly, they were granted educational rights. Shudras, occupying the lowest position, their role was to serve the people of the other three Varnas. Manu believed this system preserved social harmony, and the primary reason the king even came into existence was to protect this Varna system. This brings us to chapter 7 of the Manu Smriti, the theory of state. Manu believed in the divine origin of the state. He argued that human beings possess a mixture of good and evil tendencies. When evil tendencies take over, people violate Dharma. To save the world from total anarchy, God created the king as a symbol of Dandaniti, or the policy of punishment, to control these evil tendencies. The state in ancient India was designed as a welfare state, and its nature is deeply organic. The text literally compares the state to a human body. Just as a healthy human body needs strong organs, a powerful state requires its seven elements or organs to be strong. These seven elements are Swami, the king; Amatya, the minister; Durg, the fort; Janapad, the district; Kosh, the treasury; Mitra, the ally; Dand, punishment. Finally, let's discuss the Swami, the king himself. The king is considered an embodiment of God on earth, possessing the unique qualities of major gods like Indra, Vayu, Yama, and Agni. However, and please put a star next to this in your notes, Manu's concept of kingship is very different from Western monarchies. In Western thought, the king is often seen as an agent of God, where the king can do no wrong. In the Dharmashastra, the king is neither allowed to create new rules nor alter existing principles of Dharma. He is strictly expected to uphold and preserve existing laws. He must be a selfless, enlightened yogi who completely controls his senses and his anger. He is supposed to govern with the consent of the people, not simply through force. His duties are vast. Because he belongs to the warrior class, he must follow Kshatriya Dharma, which means that engaging in war is considered his duty. He is responsible for administering punishment according to the Shastras. But it is vital to note that there is no concept of equality before the law in the Manu Smriti. The lower a person's Varna, the higher the punishment they received for the exact same offense. Through his main duties, which include taxation, managing the judicial system, navigating interstate relations, and upholding morality, the king's ultimate goal is to help his citizens achieve yogshame, meaning the successful pursuit of the four Purusharthas we discussed earlier. In summary, Dharmashastra gives us a picture of a state built not on individual liberty but on cosmic duty, strict social hierarchy, and the balance of spiritual and material goals.